Alright lads, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tom Harlock and I do not have an intro. But if last year was a story, then my life would be the pages that are stuck together. We had thrilling action, nail-biting drama, and even some romantic comedy. And as we flick through the opening chapters of the new year, I thought it would be cathartic to shelve the past and make space for new trauma by recapping last year's wildest internet moments in an effort to find out exactly what went wrong in 2023.
And the streamy goes to Michaela!
With a face for TikTok and a voice science has to answer for, Michaela Nogueira is best known for her glamorous makeup techniques, inability to tell the truth, and being so audibly irritating that it flares up my eczema.
What's poppin'? Oh my god.
Oh, my eardrums, love. Michaela was called a big fat liar in January when her sponsorship with L'Oreal went viral for all the wrong reasons. Posting to her 15 million TikTok followers, Michaela claimed the mascara worked miracles. It lengthens, adds volume, and even cuts the cameras to apply false lashes.
This looks like false this is how? What?
Oh yeah, mate. That's because they are.
I absolutely believe that it is, yeah.
Michaela's always been accused of telling porcupines. Her seemingly sudden development of a thick, juicy accent had raised a few eyebrows.
Never stop following your dreams, even if people try to get in the way of that. Thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet, but I don't think I should be following my dreams, love. I'm a frequent bedwetter.
Oh my god. I'm sorry.
Well, congratulations, Michaela, but if makeup doesn't work out for you, I think you'd be perfect for voice acting. If you could just hum for a moment, you'd sound great dubbed over the first tower being hit. And speaking of collapsed structures, Ollie London's face was everywhere in February, obsessed with a Korean pop star, committed to altering every aspect of his appearance, and now fodder for those Americans who look like they shagged their cousins. Last year, Ollie crawled out of whatever hole he came from and decided to release a book.
I'm signing copies of Gender Madness. The book is available right now, so go get your copy.
I'd rather scoop my own eyes out. In a very predictable series of events, Ollie revealed he was turning his botched back on the community he had exploited over the last decade.
I, like the lost sheep and many teens, was brought back into this flock by the shepherd, by God's guiding light, and that's really turned my life around.
Alright, well don't get too big for your boots, mate. You still look like a Rorschach test.
In this video, we're curing 1,000 people's blindness.
In February, charitable YouTuber Jimmy Summit released his latest philanthropic effort, wherein he funds cataract surgery to cure people around the world of their blindness. But not even 2,000 fully functioning eyeballs could foresee the drama it would cause. As the most subscribed on here, Mr. Beast has redefined maximalism on YouTube, from spending a fortune to recreate Squid Game, to giving $1 million jets to YouTubers who don't really need it. Jimmy's videos have been criticised for being an ostentatious flaunt of wealth. Recently, he's pivoted to providing for those in need.
One down, 99 more wells in Africa to go.
In the last few months alone, he'd given water to the thirsty and now sight to the blind. But with the cameras capturing every moment, Jimmy's been labelled an opportunist with a god complex. And I firmly agree. And I also believe in an eye for an eye, so I think the only way of fixing this, mate, is to ravage their sight back, like Travis the Chimp, or diabetic retinopathy. But Mr. Jimmy the Eye Snatcher wasn't the only YouTuber accused of taking the piss last year.
Oh, so good.
In March, Emma Chamberlain, YouTube's quirkiest fashion diva, and the reason your preteen daughter's shitting herself before noon, came under fire for her extortionate merch prices. Again, screenshots from Emma's site started to circulate, with an option to buy a DM for $10,000. After getting berated on the internet, it was explained away as a technical difficulty. But if somebody's willing to spend that much money on a singular message, well, please let me know, you little freak. I'll milk you dry. Or wet, but that does come with an upcharge.
I just want to reiterate that I messed up, and I'm sorry for any stress this may have caused you.
In April, Illuminati, a YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers, thanks to her near-daily uploads, found herself the centre of her own scandal. Run by some last name Blair, her videos often criticise unethical business practices, using words directly plagiarised by others, which is a little bit thick, I'll be honest. After accusing fellow YouTuber Legal illegal of copying an editing technique. Blair's call out quickly unravelled to reveal a myriad of deceptions, with the most confusing being her avatar. I didn't know triangles could be so shapeless. What on earth was your commission request, love? Geometric gown and a frumpy garment, with her video scripts being directly lifted from other people. Blair's channel has since tanked, and as one lawyer gets his vindication, another is probably being paid a handsome retainer. With over 20 million subscribers and apparently no repercussions for his alleged crimes, in May, James Charles announced his much anticipated makeup line. For the photo shoot, James held a competition for his followers, and for the name, I can only assume he waited until school finished and then asked his last victim what they saved his number as.
Painted.
Well, don't worry, mate. I'll get you a bottle of water and teach you how to do a handstand. But James wasn't the only one shitting bricks last year.
I lost control of my bowels and I pooped my pants. I was like actually dying.
Last year, Amber Lynn showed the judges the vulnerability they always wanted when she revealed a binge eating session nearly took her life. Oh, Amber Lynn. Well, at least you would have went doing what you love.
I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. I was choking on a very big piece of potato.
Here lies Amber Lynn Reed. Cause of death: root vegetable. Luckily, girlfriend Jade was there to save the day.
She started beating on my back, like beating. And thankfully, by doing that, I think it dislodged.
I'm just glad Jade was there and not me. If I had to twat you on the back, well, I'd probably require a skeletal x-ray or a stud finder.
It was like a potato this big. Dislodged. It just like went across the room.
After pooing her pants, Amber Lynn made a full recovery. But unfortunately, and I'm sure on a completely unrelated note, her relationship with Jay crumbled and they have since broken up.
I don't know, I just feel really freaking lost right now. And I need a shoulder.
Well, look to the future, mate. Maybe next week we can try solids again. And in other Scissor Sister news, Jojo Siwa shared footage of a terrifying break-in. It'd been a rough year for Jojo, having just defended herself against criticism for faking a pregnancy, which I don't think anybody sane really believed. Let's be real here, boys. The only dick Jojo's going near is, well...
Hey guys, it's me, Miranda. Today I'm here with a really annoying child.
Best known as her internet persona Miranda Sings, Colleen Ballinger found herself dragged along the tracks in June when her good girl image hit the brakes.
Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face.
You talking to me or the mirror, darling? It looks like you got colour matched at the local morgue.
Today I only want to talk about the facts. So, I hope that you'll be willing to listen.
No. Not listening can't make me, and if you do, well, I'll self-circumcise by my bare hands. Right in front of you. You can live with that trauma. Considered her response to the recent allegations of her acting inappropriately with young viewers, Colleen released the summer smash Toxic Gossip Train.
Toxic gossip train. You got a one-way ticket to manipulation station.
Manipulation station? Oh, bollocks. I was supposed to get off at Hater Avenue. Grabbing her ukulele, 10 minutes of pre-prepared lyrics, and evidently not a hairbrush, Colleen was accused of putting her young fans to work.
The only thing I've ever groomed is my 2 Persian cats. I'm not a groomer. I'm just a loser.
Oh, well, boo-hoo, love. The only ones I feel for are the children. Listen, kids, if you're watching this, let's not keep you out of employment for too long, eh? Grab your passports and get weaned on MSG. I've got just the role for you.
Today we are at the Shein warehouse. The products come directly from this facility to your home.
Chinese fast fashion cesspit Shein hit headlines in June after flying out a group of TikTokers to their factory in Jiangshao, China.
This is like addicting. I feel like I'm in a game.
Well, be careful, because I don't think you'll be laughing much when you get that tick caught in the machinery with disgustingly low prices and questionable business practices. I've never shopped their site, and to be honest, I'm pretty annoyed you lot haven't told me about Shein before. You're telling me I can get a sack of clothes that all disintegrate after one use, and all it costs is the dexterity of an impoverished child? I guess I'll take 2.
Yes. Ice cream's so good.
Ice cream so good? Well, so is being literate, love. Home to fashion hacks, cooking tips, and an array of the biggest freaks to walk the planet.
I'm an all-you-can-eat buffet, 1 of your 5 a day.
No thanks, mate. That's how you get tapeworms. July saw TikTok overran with NPCs, popularised by some gal named Pinky Doll, and based on the non-playable characters in video games. Once it was established as a moneymaker, the app was flooded with copycats, which really does beg the question. Are you lot all poor or something? Because I've sounded like an AI robot for years, and all I get is shit in the comments. The veneers are veneering? Absolutely not. And thank you so much.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty.
YouTube channel 8 Passengers, helmed by mother Ruby Frankie and focusing on the strict parenting of her 6 kids, had gained millions of subscribers since its inception in 2015.
I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner.
However, in August, the same videos that made her a star became evidence of her downfall.
I'm going to pretend that life is exactly how I want it.
And what on earth is that, mate? Looking like a slightly more inbred Miranda Sings. I suppose you do have the resume. On August 30th, as the candles on my birthday cake amounted to 30, Ruby received 6 counts of aggravated child abuse.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
After one of Ruby's kids escaped to her neighbours, Ruby's house of cards slipped. With her home in Utah being stormed, her young children were found bound with rope and malnourished. In what can only really be described as my literal nightmare, Ruby comes from a family of vloggers, with her sisters also having YouTube channels.
We are in complete shock still as to what she had done because we had no idea of what was happening.
Ruby has since admitted to some of the charges, and as of this week has been sentenced to up to 60 years behind bars. Well, enjoy Mormon hell, I suppose. I hope the devil can cut you some layers. And as one case closes, another opens.
I'm not looking at the $1 million that was made. I'm looking at the millions and millions of dollars that wasn't made because they're not freaking listening to me.
In September, the creator of the viral condiment sensation Pink Sauce. Jesus Christ, you lot would buy anything, wouldn't you? I really need to start selling shit. Threatened to take legal action against the catering company she partnered with, who helped take her homemade kitchen nightmares onto the shelves of Walmart. Putting up a GoFundMe, Chef P claimed they owed her a shit ton of money, which they vehemently denied. Oh, well, I am sorry this is happening to you, but I never really saw the big fuss. I had a viral sauce once, but it did clear up within the week. And it was more of a seafoam green.
Hello friends, it's me. And today we are checking out some dumb people on the internet.
Well, it looks like I've already started. Sniper Wolf is an American YouTuber who has amassed over 30 million subscribers thanks to her artistic contributions to media, such as staring open-mouthed and saying wow. With a body like a Coke bottle and a skull void of grey matter, she built her channel on daily reaction videos where she gawps at a few TikToks and struggles to muster up 8 minutes of thought. In September, Sniper Wolf found her channel demonetized after a Barney with Jax films, who is another YouTuber with a silly name. Can't any of you just be normal? It's like the email address you made when you were 12. If I saw a Lil Bebo stunner at hotmail.com in the wild, I think I'd start to convulse. Jack had spent most of 2023 criticising Sniper Wolf and her lack of effort. Her videos were shit and he wasn't afraid to tell her. Creating an entirely new channel, Jack would mock Sniper Wolf by making the same low effort videos again and again and again, which is a little bit like pissing in the pot and taking a big juicy gulp. And I won't shame you for that, but can you give me an heads up next time so I can whip out my camera? I've got loads of freaks in my Instagram requests. It would probably give me a few meters of their nervous system for an MP4. I wish I was joking, honestly. If any of you actually have money, I'll take that. Also in October, TikTok gal Charlie D'Amelio got in shit for a Walmart ad where she pretended to be Povo scum. I've worked loads of minimum wage jobs, and if Charlie D'Amelio kicked me off my till so she could pop and lock it for a video, well, I actually don't think I'd care less. I'd simply go for a short break, return to my checkout, and immediately steal a few 20s. It was all her, alright. She was just nay-naying as a distraction. Clean up on aisle long, Bob. I don't know what that means.
The hostess who like seats you at the restaurant had a black eye. A full black eye. And it wasn't like, what happened? It was pretty obvious what happened.
Oh god, did Mr. Beast come to collect his debt? In November, geometric TikTok star Matt Rife released a Netflix comedy special, Natural Selection, which is slightly strange, because I have seen what he looks like, and I don't really remember us interbreeding with a box of Lego, a face loved by millions, sculpted out of medical grade plastic, and only really comprehensible with a protractor and Pythagorean theorem. Matt's looks made him a hit with the ladies, and apparently he was happy to return the favour.
And my boy who I was with was like, they should put her in the kitchen or something where nobody has to see her face.
With the first joke in his stand-up special centred around the origin of a woman's black eye, his audience wasn't very happy. I don't think it's right to laugh at women at all, mainly because they're not very funny, and I don't do pity.
I was like, yeah, but I feel like if she could cook, she wouldn't have that black eye. So, just testing the water, seeing if y'all are gonna be fun or not.
Alright mate, but only if I can test yours too, because there's definitely something fizzing at the bottom of this, and I am starting to lose the feeling in my legs. I also have a predominantly female viewership, but unlike Matt, I actually don't despise you, and I think it's an insult to reduce a woman to nothing more than the off-cut of a man's anger. You lot could be so much more than that. Some of you might be part-time school teachers, and I suppose the Primark won't manage itself.
Oh yeah, I forgot I have that. I'm on tag for a year.
Public nuisance and TikTok loser Mizzy was jailed in November for 18 weeks after breaching a court order that stopped him sharing footage of strangers online. Mizzy had gained notoriety over the last few years for his outlandish pranks, such as pitch invading during the Sidemen charity match and entering strangers' homes and threatening their lives. Oh, you crazy TikToker, what are you like, eh? Well, maybe for your next social experiment, you could walk into a job centre and fill out an application.
It was very strange to click purchase on our child's mother.
Well, for those babies' sake, I hope you kept the gift receipt. December saw the birth of Shane Dawson and Rylan Adams' twin boys. Born via surrogate, YouTube's stinkiest couple found themselves in hot amniotic fluid when they announced their decision to not show much of their kids in a post where they show both of their faces. Although I'm not really surprised. Before the kids were even born, Shane and Ryland had made loads of videos with the children as the focus, from giving them names to decorating their rooms. There isn't an inch of their tiny existence that isn't viewable after a non-skippable ad, with Rylan and Shane posing in the hospital bed. They were accused of cosplaying exhaustion, as if they pushed the babies out themselves, which led to a bigger conversation. Is Shane even capable of being a dad? And I do understand reservations. How on earth can Shane puree fruit and vegetables when his blending looks like this? In recent years, Shane had earned a reputation of, well, being a giant scumbag. From a podcast clip wherein he details nutting on his cat, to tossing himself off to a 12-year-old pop star.
Oh, I'll whip your hair back and forth. Oh!
Sour relics of Shane's past have left a bitter taste in the public's mouth. Personally, my thoughts go out to Ryland. Now he has to change 3 shitty nappies. But as the internet discussed whether Shane Dawson should be behind bars, Gypsy Rose Blanchard was breaking out of hers. Gypsy is best known for being Munchausen by her mum Dee Dee, resulting in 2 decades of unnecessary surgeries and ending in Gypsy's fella snuffing Dee Dee out. After serving 8 of her 10-year sentence, Gypsy was released this December, leaving prison with French tips and a curly blow. Gal stepped out of cell block H and straight into stardom, and unfortunately, finding out this was her portrayal, God, I think I'll go back for another stint. Since her release, Gypsy has been inundated with support. Sharing her freedom, her TikToks receive millions of likes, and her Instagram posts have thousands of supportive comments. Oh, you're so stunning. Proud of you, gal. Slay, mum. Oh, sorry, that last one was a charge sheet. Gypsy's media appearances, best-selling books, and podcasts in the pipeline are setting her up for a killer 2024. Honestly, if that's all it takes, strap me to some wheels and feed a tube down my piss slit. So I could do with another 1 million subscribers, but I can't really be asked to do anything noteworthy. Unfortunately, Gypsy can't catch a break. It's recently been speculated her new lover is in fact her biological half-sibling. Well, they do say blood is thicker than water, and so is cum. And on that sticky note, that's all the time I've got for today's video. But if you did enjoy it and you feel so inclined, you can leave me a like. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below in the comment box. And if you want more videos from me, you can always click subscribe. No pressure, but if you don't, I will say horrible things to myself in the mirror, and it'll all be your fault. Cheers for watching, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you boys next time. Bye!